Another day, another MX Bikes video. What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today we are going to be playing another Supercross track. This one is a track made by Jackie Moon, who's been grinding out tracks recently. Fair play, hats off to him. He's been absolutely going ham with all the content for us. This is the 2023 Denver track map, or at least based off of it. And you're going to get my first raw reactions and laps around here. And then what I want to do is at the end of the video, I'll try and get in, like off camera, I'll record it and just get in like what I would say is a hot lap. It's not going to be like world records or anything. People are absolutely nuts around tracks like this, and I'm a little bit late to the party with this one. It was released while I was away for almost 2 weeks, so everyone's kind of seen it already, done their thing and moved on, but these are my very first impressions, and we're going to see how it goes. So far, so good. Jesus, it's a very rare occasion if I make it around a track on lap 1 without completely wadding myself. Hey, you there? Yes, you. The one sat on the toilet on their phone whilst watching me play this game. You're very weird. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, or if you keep coming back. I'd really appreciate it. I'm on the KTM today. I've got my... Oh, let me go back to the pits real quick. I've got on the stock suspension still, if anybody still wants to... oh, I'm comparing it to itself. There you go, default. I just mess around with the others tab and just change the tyres and fuel and such over here. So if those of you keep asking me for my Supercross setups, that's you've got it right there already. You can feel free to pause the video and go and copy that for yourselves. I need to mess around with things a little bit myself, because I quite like how the KTM handles in the corners. The issue that I've got right now, however, that is a very difficult section to get into, is the whoops. The KTM, even if I put it up in 4th and 5th gear, which usually helps quite a lot, not the case on the KTM. So I need to do a little bit of experimenting. Hopefully it kind of gets a little bit better before the Supercross season starts, but overall it's not too shabby. You will notice, if you are a keen listener, you'll notice that I have a different engine sound for the first time in God knows how long. This engine it's an old Suzuki sound. I don't know how else to word that, but from Bayer's sound replacement pack. So I'm going to, if I remember to, fingers crossed I remember to, I'm going to link that sound replacement pack down below, and there's like 10, 20, 30 different sounds all in there, so you haven't necessarily got to have my one. Feel free to kind of work through them and see what suits you. Can you quad? Oh, that quad's a bit of a stretch. I'm not sure if there's quite enough pop to get up and over that, so maybe I'll just go for on-off out of the rest of that section, but I've got the beginning of it clean. That's what I care about. What about here? Go on, off, and then a triple again, double. No, I have seen, I'm pretty sure I've seen people jumping around that corner. I saw a clip of a track where people were jumping around a corner and not getting cuts, and other people were complaining about it, so it might be that one. Jackie did put a little warning on the mods page on the post, saying that apparently the whoops are pretty brutal. So far, so good. It's not been too bad, but I know that in comparison to some other kind of like custom tracks, it's a lot more... What's the word? Just a bit more gnarly. You know, they're not crazy by any means, but they are definitely harder than others. Jackie does seem to... Oh no, I'm turning around and doing that again. Jackie does seem to give us some hard whoops. I know that as a fact from the WSX tracks that he's made as well. Alright, let's try this again. So soak that up. I just need to hit it faster. It's not one of them where you need to wheelie up and over the first roller or anything, which is something that's been quite common actually on recent tracks. So, what if I go step over? Oh, hang on. I'm getting ideas in my brain. Let's turn around. I want to step over that table instead of going on-off. I feel like there could be some very interesting lines here. Right, round to the right. A bit more speed. Step over. Triple again. You can triple all the way into the corner, I guess. Oh, that's nice and smooth. Go triple into there instead of double. So nice to see that there's already some different line choices. You might even be able to step over the table in that section as well. 5th gear in the whoops maybe. I'm not going into them quite as fast. Oh, dipping into them. There we go. She's all good. And I'm noticing I'm getting a lot of twitching in the corners again recently, which, to be honest, it's only really started happening since I've come back from being away. So I feel like it's just a lack of muscle memory. Just need to build it all up again. I messed with my direct lean settings a little bit again the other day. I changed it from 50, it's down to 40 now. So a little bit of muscle memory that needs to be built up again, where I'm changing settings here and there. And for those of you that keep asking for my setup, there will be one in the new year. Don't you worry, before the Supercross season starts, I'll release all that. Not sure if I'll release a a like full-on setup in regards to like suspension and stuff yet, because I'm still going to be doing a bunch of testing myself. That's not all going to be final. I'll probably even be tweaking that in the first few rounds. But in terms of setup for like input, controller, buttons, all that stuff, yeah, no problem at all. I'll do another update there. I don't think I've done one actually since in a year. I don't think. I think I was scrolling through my videos the other day, just going back in time, seeing what I posted, see what does well, what doesn't do so well, just for like ideas of content. And it definitely seems to be a case of the setup videos always do well because they're ones that people keep going back to. I know my last one is like the main video on my channel, so every time anyone loads up the channel, it does it. I know I myself, if I go to my channel to have a look at community posts and stuff that I've done, I just hear my own voice, and I hate listening to myself. Much would rather never listen to myself again, but I do have to go through and edit my videos every now and then, so it's catch-22. Not too bad. You'd think after, oh god, we're coming up to, well, not near 2 years at all just yet, I don't suppose. I think it's like May-ish time, April, May time, that it'd be 2 years. But a year and a half. You'd think I'd get used to it by now, but I definitely do not. I get people, like if for example, I met one of my girlfriend's really close friends about a month or so ago for the first time, just having a conversation with her, and she was just like, well, what do you do? And you kind of tell someone that you make YouTube videos, and then of course they want to see them straight off the bat, and it's like, no, please no, it's cringy, I promise, you don't want to watch it. But you always have to give in, and you just have to sit there awkwardly whilst they listen to your voice as if you're not there. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's no problem. Step off of there. I will say, I'm not sure if he's made this to be easier than the WSX tracks at all, or if for some reason the style of track just suits me better. I seem to be a hell of a lot more consistent around here already than I am on the WSX tracks. I'm not sure what it is about them, but those World Supercross tracks, just for the life of me, I cannot get around them A, fast, or B, consistently, even if I'm not going around them fast. Part of the reason why I didn't really want to do the races or the small championship Ace Moto held the other week. I was about for the first round of it, but I was doing that long donation live stream, and then the second round I was away for. There was a few reasons that I didn't really want to do them. Obviously, first being I'm garbage at them, so just kind of saving face. I don't want to get my anus pushed in by everybody, because everyone seems so fast as of late, it's disgusting. The other reasons being there's a few cut lines, which I know people, well, I know that the hosts were trying to monitor during the race, but I don't know if you can catch absolutely everybody all the time, especially in qualifying. And then the other one was that I'm not a massive fan nowadays of racing on tracks that are already pre-released, where people have like a week plus to grind away at it. Much prefer, not like Aerial, for example, where the track gets released an hour beforehand, you get an hour to practice it, hop into quali, hop into a race, boom, you're going. I find that I do much better in those situations. I think that I learn a track within an hour better than some people can, but then the one lap speed and stuff, it slacks a tiny bit, but in terms of consistency and race speed, I'm usually pretty happy with where I'm at. It's usually not too bad. Oh god, I'm getting inside these whoops again. Must have jinxed myself earlier. I said I was having no problem. Can I quad this? Because keep casing. There we go. Well, just when in doubt, absolutely bloody send it. That was so much easier than what I've been doing. Jesus Christ. Okay. I feel like I should just try sending some more stuff now. Let's go send it through there. Soak that up a little bit. Lovely. Go triple. I don't think I can quad into this corner. I know for a fact some people will be, but doesn't look like a bit of me. I don't think you can quad in there either. I think that is either a step over or a step on. And then this triple is quite nice, even if you only just double before it, because the way he's built the face the jump is very, very, very lovely. And I don't know if he's messed around with the scaling or the jump faces at all, but these ones feel really nice. And again, going back to the WSX tracks, I feel like everything was a bit more mellow on those, where these are a bit more peaky. And those of you that watch my videos regularly, when it comes to Supercross tracks, I do like my peaky jumps that send you quite high up in the air. I think that really replicates real life Supercross a little bit more. I find when you're watching the AMA guys, they are getting absolutely booted to the moon, especially if they're going for a massive line like a quad. They go so bloody high. Oh, up and over that. Let's scrub this. Right, going for the quad. Downside of that, okay. Oh, boing. Oh, god damn it. You'll see me sitting here saying that that's not possible. I guarantee as soon as I'm done recording this, I'll go and watch someone's like heater of a lap time, Probably someone like Evmove or Chicken, something like that. Maybe Hells as a fast lap, I don't know. I'm sure they've caught it out of that somehow. Can you go so much? Step over? No, stepping over there wouldn't really do much either, because then you're left with you're not going to quad into the corner. It'd be a triple single, or it'd be a double double, which I think is slower. So going on off triple would be best. These are whoops. I definitely need to mess around with my settings just a little bit. So with this engine sound, I really like the low RPM. You heard it rolling on the throttle out there. I love the sound when you're just gently rolling on the throttle. The rev limiter, not so much, but out of all the different sounds I tried, this one was like the best one for me. I feel like there's not many limiters in this game that I actually enjoy the sound of. The reason why I changed, really couldn't tell you. This is a bit of an odd thing where I don't know if anybody else can relate to this at all, but I'm quite... what's the best way of wording it? The engine sounds help me a lot when I'm playing, and I know some people can just blast music into their ears whilst they're riding around with no issues whatsoever, but for me, I use the engine so much in this game to the point where I kind of know when I'm getting traction and when I'm not, like when I'm right on the limit of spinning the back end out, just from how the bike sounds. Obviously, that's all been reset now. I've got to learn it all again from scratch, so probably find that I'll be on the wrong gear a few times because the bike sounds different. You probably find that I might do a 180 in some of the corners a bit more because I'm revving it more than I should do. But yeah, the bike sounds for me are huge. That is such a... If you are struggling, or if you do usually play Blair music, just try and turn the engine noise up a little bit and listen to what the bike's doing it. I mean, similar to IRL, you don't count what gear you're in and stuff in real life. I mean, maybe some of you do, I'm not too sure. But you'll go off how the bike sounds and how it feels. And I mean, the audio part of it is just as big a thing as the visual stuff for me. I think if I had to play without audio all the time, I don't think I'd be anywhere near as, like, I was going to say fast, I don't feel fast at all right now. I don't think I'd be anywhere near as decent as I am right now. I definitely think I would be a very, very, like, intermediate level player on the game. But no, let me know. Are you the same? Do you have to, like, listen to every little thing? You'll be very, very surprised. If you haven't messed around with sound replacement packs yet, go and switch things up and you'll be very surprised just how much of a difference it makes. Get up and over that. A lot of it's placebo as well, so... When I was kind of messing around with all these and deciding on which one I wanted, I was playing on the Avalanche track that Hurren just released, just because it was the one I had selected in testing, just going in and out and listening to the bike. And for whatever reason, this sound replacement right here, I just felt like I was getting more traction in the corner than in others. And I know that is this... Oh, I just... Capybara, by the way, hello. I know that is the probably stupidest comment that you're ever going to hear, because a sound replacement isn't going to give you more traction, but it's just a case of, because the bike sounds like it's getting all its power from lower down, I don't rev it as much, or I don't put on the power quite as hard, so that in turn gives me more traction, because I'm getting on the power smoother. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just what you see on the screen. If anybody asks why I'm on the KTM, don't. I can guarantee that I switch or rotate between bikes a handful or more times before the season starts. I think for me, where I'm comfortable on the Honda, like I've got a pretty decent setup that Rum sent me. However, now so many people are using the Honda, it's almost turned me off from it a little bit, which is probably quite strange. You know, if it's a good bike, it's a good bike, so of course everyone's going to ride it. But I like being that tiny bit different. I know KTM's probably the second most used 450, I want to say. I mean, it's basically what people like Hurls and Cam and Ryder, for example, I know he likes it. They like live and die on the KTM. They absolutely love it. But for me, it's not one that I've used all that much. I will admit, when I hop on it, if I go into, like I was playing on Widowmaker, for example, earlier with Charlie, the power that this thing puts down in a straight line is absolutely disgusting. And it feels more powerful than the Honda does, in my opinion. It's then a case of just getting it around the corners and through whoops, for example, easier. I seem to have no issues at all through rhythm sections. It's not like majorly coming up short or anything, or I'm getting kicked all over the place by barely casing a jump. Honestly, it feels really, really nice. I feel like I can stay fast, smooth and low through rhythms. It's just like whoops like this, every now and then it kind of dips my front end in and gets me all over the place. And the corners, sometimes my front end might play up, or maybe I'll turn a little bit too tight, and it's all... I've got a good base here, granted that it is a default suspension as a base, but I think that's just the last piece. It's just finding something that really works well for me. I might even slide in SD's DMs and ask him to send something my way. Who knows? I mean, knowing my luck, I'll put all this time and effort into doing the testing, and then we'll get the OEM bikes released or something like that just before Supercross. Who knows? I'd love that to happen. At the same time, I wouldn't love that to happen. I think it would help me because everyone would kind of be put back onto an even playing field, rather than all the people been grinding away for the last month or so preparing for Soupy, where I really haven't. I know I need to. I keep saying I'm going to, but it still hasn't happened just yet. I keep finding myself playing other games like Track Day R. I'm loving Track Day R right now. I'm having so much fun with it, especially online. And then I've been playing like FIFA Pro Clubs, for example, with Charlie as well, and even Call of Duty mixed in there. So I've been all over the place recently, but you know what? I've been really, really enjoying my gaming, and that is the most important thing. Better to kind of mix things all over the place and just get burnt out on one game. And just thank you everyone again for all the support recently. It's been really, really great. I really do appreciate it. And if I was to say anything about this track, what a good track to practice Soupy on. This, to me, this feels like, whilst obviously it's not made by Stone Rider and it won't be the exact same scaling in terms of jumps and whoops, I think this is as close as it's going to get, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't feel very far off of the 2022 aerial tracks that he made either. So very, very good job here, Jackie. I don't know how you're making all these tracks in such a short amount of time, but hats off to you. Your work rate is incredible, and hopefully you release a few more of these track maps, because even though they're not going to be the exact tracks that we race on, it's still nice to get an idea of what rhythms are possible in each section, whether you go and triple through, if you have to double in, if like what the whoops are going to be like. And I know that the tracks themselves, they very well may change. I'm getting all sorts of tongue twisted now. Come IRL race day, but that's why we race a week after the fact, just so the tracks can be changed to match IRL as well. But that'll do it for me. Really, really good track. I'm going to try and run a somewhat decent lap. I'm not sure if my 47 is fast or not. I'm going to go away, spend 10 minutes or so recording. So hang around for that if you want to see me do a fast lap with no commentary. If not, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.